Welcome, my chingus, to episode 10 of Two Waygooks in Korea. My name is Steven.
My name's Josh.
And we are both English teachers living in South Korea. And today, we are going to talk about eating out or dining out in Korea and what that's like.
Yeah, it's actually a lot different than you would imagine. For one, eating out in Korea isn't as expensive as, Western. But if you always go eat like Korean barbecue and you always splurge out and things like that, it might be just as expensive, but normally it's not.
Yeah, Koreans don't eat by themselves. It just never happens. So a lot of the prices are really good deals when you go with 2, 3, 4, or 5 people. So the more people you bring, the overall cheaper it's going to get.
Yeah, and usually when you have a lot of people or a big group, they'll give you like service if you order a lot of food, like soft drinks or some extra side dishes that come with the meal, things like that.
Yeah, they love their service here, which is always good.
Service.
But one of the coolest things, the thing that I wish every restaurant in the world has, are these little ding dong bells at
little
Korean
bells.
places.
You just press it,
yeah,
and it rings the bell and goes ding dong, and then pretty much all of the employees are like, "Yep, what can we get you?" Basically in Korean.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we need to order or we need something. Yeah. Please come over here. And it's the best system in the world.
There's a little board and everything, and you have a table number, you press it, and then it goes, table number 22. And they're like, oh, table 22 needs something, so let's go to table 22.
Yeah, so like in America, a lot of times the waiter just kind of, they're doing their job, and it's not like it's bad or anything, but they'll interrupt conversations. They'll like hover and be like, hey, can we get you more things?
And just float.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, bro, like,
I'm trying to eat here, bro.
I'll get you when I want to get you, because I've actually been in times where like I'm having like a serious conversation, and the waiter's like, do you want some Jimmy Jammies for dessert? And it's like, what the fuck are you?
Go away!
Like, we're trying to talk about some cereal. So the bell, the ding dongs is awesome.
Yeah.
Now not every single place has it, but most of them do. And if not, I mean, in Korea, to get someone's attention, you just shout out. In most Asian countries, just shout out something to get their attention.
Yeah, 저기요.
Yeah. Seems really rude if you're a Westerner at first to be like, "Hey, yo, come over here." But it's normal here. It's okay. It's just a ding dong substitute. I guess.
I mean, when you have bells like this, and where it's kind of preset, where you need something, you press it. You don't tip in Korea, so it's kind of an understood fact that you don't tip, and if you try to tip, they'll be like, "Why did you give us extra money?"
Yeah.
So
it's like, you left some money. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But I think I've had some of the best service I've ever had here, and you don't ever tip. It's mind-boggling. It's like, hey, they work harder here for less money. I don't understand. And also, I didn't write this down, but a lot of the people that work at restaurants are part-timers. They're either college students or high school students, or maybe it's their family's place. And like the normal salary is like, I think 6,000 won an hour, which is less than $6 an hour. And there's no tip. A lot of times they're working like a full, even though it says part-timer, they're working full days.
Like 8 hours a day. Like they're part-timers working full-time hours.
Yeah. And it's just kind of so they don't have to pay them like special shit. But it's crazy. Everyone works hard here.
Yeah.
Like it boggles my mind when I walk into McDonald's and I'm like, dang, people working hard.
It's crazy to think about because most servers in like Westerners, like Western countries, they make most of their money off of tips, not just by flat. Flat pay. So they don't get paid very much.
Yeah. And, not to harp too much about America, but a lot of times I've had a lot of servers that expect tip and
didn't do anything.
They didn't even do a good job. And it's like, I mean, I always tip because they don't make much money regardless. Yeah. But it's like,
you didn't really deserve this, but I'm going to give it to you because it's social etiquette. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. But, I mean... It's crazy. What else? I mean, in Korea, you're always eating with, chopsticks usually. Yeah. And a spoon. Always chopsticks and spoons. Yeah. And they usually have this little kind of little rectangular prism crate whenever you sit down, and that's where you get your shit out of.
Yeah. Whenever you, however many people need utensils, you just pluck them out. Yeah. So it's easier to set tables in Korea because they don't have to set a certain amount for every table.
Yeah.
Like one table could fit 4 to 6, whatever. However many you need, just grab them out of this little utensil box.
Yeah. Sometimes in like the bottom of a table. I remember one of the first
those
times we came here, we're like, what the hell? And I remember we went to one restaurant where they hid the box of like utensils in the weirdest spot in the world. It was like underneath, middle. You had to reach under to get the utensils. Some nonsense.
I think the only reason we found it was because I hit my knee on it.
Yeah,
I was like, what the hell is this? Oh, it's our utensil box. Good thing we found that.
We need that.
Yeah.
But a lot of things in Korea are kind of self-service. Sometimes water is,
side dishes.
Utensils. So, I mean, the waiter and waitress, they do a fair bit, but they don't do as much, I guess, as a Western waiter.
Yeah, standards. Right. But a big difference between Korean dining out and Western dining out is that if you want to sell alcohol in the States, I'm not sure if it's the same for everywhere else like Europe, but if you want to sell alcohol in the States, you need a license. You need a license, and you're allowed to sell alcohol from this time to this time, depending on when your state allows. Now, Korea. Oh, blessed Korea. It's different.
It is different.
Isn't it?
As in, they don't give no fuck.
I don't care.
I don't give no fucks.
I've seen everybody and their mother sell alcohol here. If you want to drink on the premises of a 7-Eleven, you drink on the premises of a 7-Eleven. If you want to drink at a mom and pop store, you can drink at a mom and pop store. If you want to drink at a chain, you can drink at a chain. It doesn't matter. Alcohol licenses, I don't really think they exist here.
Yeah, you can drink. There's no like, you don't have to brown bag it. You can just drink wherever, whenever. Because if you didn't know, Korea likes to drink. I think soju, even though Korea is such a small country, soju was the top selling, I think, liquor in the world the last like year or 2 years running.
And no one else besides Korea really drinks it.
Yeah. And you get like a bottle, and that bottle, like most people, that bottle's pretty good. I can drink like a third of one. Josh, you can probably drink, what, 2-3 bottles?
A soju?
Yeah, like by yourself?
About two
bottles. Each bottle is like $1.
Yeah.
And you get
smashed. You get smashed for like $2 or $3.
Yeah,
that is a bargain.
Yeah. And so a lot of people do it. Drinking and eating in Korea is almost the same thing. Every food has an alcohol that's paired with it. And
usually, yes.
Usually every restaurant, I mean, don't matter if there's kids there.
You just drink in front of the kids.
Drinking. Yeah. Because those kids will probably drink soon, and everyone's just drinking. It's fun. But we'll probably do a drinking episode on its own because there's a lot.
There's a lot to talk about drinking wise.
Yeah, but because I don't drink, but I
can tell you a lot about that.
A lot of stories I
can tell you a lot about that.
Let's see what else. What else different? I mean, if you've been to any Asian restaurant, in the States, never happens. But I've been to Taiwan, and a lot of times you got to sit on the floor.
Yeah.
You take off your shoes, leave them in the front. Sometimes they got cubbies, and you got to sit on the floor. And I'm not the most flexible dude in the world. I can't even touch my toes. But like,
he can't even sit like cross-legged.
I can't sit like butterfly. Like it hurts. So sitting down on the floor, it's the worst. It's the worst. But some of the best food, the best restaurants, most Korean restaurants require you to do that, and so you just kind of deal with it.
Yeah, the most like traditional kind of Korean restaurants will have you sit on the floor, and they'll have maybe like a floor heating going on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like really, really short tables and cubbies, just like he said. Yeah. But I think more and more nowadays we're seeing restaurants that have a sit-down place and places of chairs.
Yeah.
Just maybe because of foreigners, we don't know. But definitely a lot
but
more.
Most Koreans, they prefer sitting on the ground. They sit on the ground at home.
Yeah.
Or when watching TV, they sit on the ground. Just chilling in the room, sit on the ground. It's really comfortable for them to sit on the ground and squat, If you haven't heard of the Asian squat, like that's a thing.
It's a thing.
They got some crazy ass leg muscles. I don't know how they do it, but like people can squat for hours and hours and hours, and I just don't understand. I can squat for maybe 20 seconds before I want to fucking shove my fist up someone's rectum, cause it sucks.
He doesn't have strong leg muscles.
I don't. I don't even know how it carries me. Like I'm a lot of weight. I don't even know how it works.
And some other nice things that we've noticed when we go to like say Korean barbecue places. They will usually have these like Febreze sprayers. They're not. Maybe they are Febreze. Maybe they're not. Maybe some knockoff brand. Like by the exit. So when you're all smoked up, smelling like meat, and you do smell like meat after you're sitting there for a while. Yeah. Especially how much we eat and how long we eat. We gotta spray it out. Yeah. So.
Like you'll smell from smoke either from the meat or because other people are smoking. Like you'll smell in Korea.
You smell. For some reason.
The Febreze is actually pretty cool. Normally I don't even remember it's there, but whenever you pay attention to Korean people leaving a barbecue place, they're usually using that Febreze. Mm-hmm. So take advantage of it. See a little bottle of it, and they don't just spray one. They you gotta get up in there. If you don't come out feeling wet, you're doing it wrong. Life lesson. Don't forget that.
Stevenson.
But what else? Well, at most restaurants, almost all restaurants, they also have this coffee machine.
Yeah.
Usually it's usually free, and you just go press little buttons. Usually got milk coffee or like regular coffee. And it's kind of like shitty.
It's really, really shitty.
It
is really, really.
It's free, but it's really nice sometimes. Where you're done with a meal, you want some kind of little sweet, you hit the little coffee button, and it's fucking a little cup of coffee. It's nice.
It is like the crappiest like instant coffee or sweet instant coffee as you'll get, but remember it's free.
It's free.
So
and a lot of Korean food is really like salty and spicy, and usually they like to drink cider, which is like Sprite or 7-Up, to kind of cover that up. But coffee is also really nice because coffee is big here too.
Yeah.
So I've been taking advantage of that more and more when I can because it's free and sometimes you want some coffee.
Yeah, it's nice.
But you don't like sugary stuff, and in Korea, coffee is more sugar than coffee.
So sugary.
It's ridiculous.
Oh God. It's ridiculous how sugary it is.
Yeah. And the last thing, this is not just the eating out thing, it's kind of if you want to buy or do anything here. And it's that when you pay for things, everything is in nice, magical, round numbers.
Like 7,000, 10,000, 12,000. None of these like weird, like 17,000 and 351. None of that business. Yeah. Like it's usually nice set numbers for however many people you have, or the dish for itself, like 6,000, 3,000, whatever. Yeah,
I mean, I think some other countries definitely do that, but America is just like, fuck it, everyone uses card anyways. We can just do whatever the hell we want.
We'll say it's $3.99.
Yeah, and it's so nice because Korea is a big cash kind of economy, so I think they do it just to make it a lot easier, and it's a lot easier.
It's pretty important to carry around cash, actually.
Yeah, I always wish, like, if I were to have a restaurant at home, I would always do that. I'd always just rig my prices so they round out even because it's just so much nicer.
Yeah.
So it makes my kind of semi like neurotic OCD kind of deal to always have something even.
Ooh, I thought of something that we didn't write down. Also in Korea, when you're paying your bills, when you're paying the table bill, you always go up to the counter to pay it.
Oh, right.
You never pay it at the table unless it's like a really, really, really fancy place. I've only seen that maybe like a handful of times, but you always take your check, or sometimes they don't have a check, and you go up to the counter and then you split it up there if you want to split it up, or you pay however much you want to pay.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much how every place does it.
And you don't like ask for a check like in America. Like once you order, they'll give you the check first, like before your food. It's already sitting there waiting. If you want to order anything else, they'll replace that check with the new one.
Yeah. They'll write another receipt, or they'll check another box or whatever.
Yeah. So it's, again, like, you don't need to bother them for that. You leave when you need to leave, and you kind of do your own thing. You can sit there for hours if you want.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Might give you stink eye, though.
Maybe.
Get out restaurant. Stop drinking soju.
But I don't think I've ever, I mean, there's so many restaurants in Korea. I don't think I've ever, like, it been full and you felt bad for sitting there because there's people waiting.
I mean, that is something that we also can comment about. What is strange is that there's maybe 3 or 4 restaurants per block here in Korea. It's pretty surprising, like per like square foot or square meter, however many restaurants there are.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe if you live in like New York or like a big ass American city. But we don't even live in that big of a city. We kind of live in a middle city. And, I kind of live far away from some stuff. But for the most part, like, you can go downstairs from your apartment and there'll be 10 restaurants within a 5-minute walk, usually.
Yeah, Steven lives in like the boonies. We always make fun of how he lives in like a ghetto area. Like if you want to like murder somebody, this is the place you go.
There's open fields right away.
Yeah, you could literally, when you walk through the road, there are 3 restaurants within like touching distance.
And that's considered the ghetto. I mean, in America, in Texas, I would never even walk. I'd be like, what would I do without a car? I'd probably be skinnier. Yeah. But I'm trying to think what else. I mean, the restaurants here, like we were really afraid when we got here, or at least I did because I didn't know any Korean. So ordering was really hard. Or I thought it'd be really hard. But, you know, half the restaurants in Korea are chain restaurants, and they usually have big-ass pictures where you just be like, this one.
Be like, Hana, please.
Yeah, or
just this many.
Yeah. And we got around just fine. I mean, I didn't know a single bit of Korean. Couldn't even read Hangul when I first got here. And order, as long as you go to a chain restaurant, it's fine. Now, the more Korean ones, the sit-down, shoes-off ones, which has a lot of good food, you're kind of...
It might not even have a menu. It might just be like a placard on the wall saying, we serve these 5 things. Yeah. And that's it. Choose one of them.
And so I used to stay away from that. I still try to stay away from that unless I'm with like Josh or like my girlfriend. They are the best places. They're really good. And they're usually really cheap. The chain restaurants are usually the ones that are way more expensive. But
that is pretty much dining in a nutshell in Korea.
If you want to eat some fried chicken, Korea... You would not think this. You really would not think this, but Korea's got some fucking fried chicken, man.
Fucking delicious fried chicken.
I don't understand. They don't have a Chick-fil-A, which makes me, which boggles my mind, but half the restaurant sometimes in a city is chicken, but it's really good. So if you want to come to Korea, eat some food. Hopefully you learn something here. You're not confused like we were when we got here. But if you want to learn anything else, you should check out some of our other episodes.
We got quite a few out.
We got quite a few. This is number 10. What else do? We do a podcast every week where we talk about K-pop.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday that's released on YouTube. Every Tuesday on iTunes. You can find us on iTunes. We're legit. We're a thing.
We're legit.
We're not just YouTube. We're on the iTunes. And we also started a brand new kind of game, which is every Friday, Fun Friday. And it's kind of like, if you know K-pop, if you follow K-pop, you should check it out. Play with us, kind of a guessing game. It's called What Is That?
What is that?
And also, this is the first episode where we recorded with our brand new mic.
You can't really see it, but it's
I'm going to lift it up, but here. I hope it doesn't fuck up the shit. Yay! So we hope the audio quality is
a little bit better.
And
Steven also got a nice kind of TV monitor now going.
Yeah, if you notice, the angle's a little bit better because it's much higher.
Angle's better. What's up? Oh, that's too close.
All right. I gave me a panic attack. Pants are wet. But anyways, that's it for Two Waygooks in Korea. Until next Wednesday, because it's Waygook Wednesday, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Eat some good chicken.